Well, it was last week when Amazon officials announced the closure of its Lit 1 facility because it did not meet building code. And questions haven't been, what about my packages? But what about the thousands of people who work inside the facility?
Very disappointing. It puts like a sour taste in your mouth for the company in general.
Georgie Wagner received her offer letter to work at Amazon's Lit 1 facility starting October 30th. She couldn't imagine that she would never walk through the doors of the facility again.
On October 29th, I got a phone call from Amazon Job Teams, which is who does the hiring. And they were like, hey, look, we're having issues at the facility, but we're going to pay you for your time until your next start date, which was, I think, the 13th.
Amazon officials say they were informed of the building's structural flaws, prompting officials to announce a 3-day closure on October 22nd. That date was extended from November 7th to the 21st.
13th rolls around and I get another phone call. Hey, we're pushing it. We can't open yet. And then on the 19th, we got emails saying that we're terminating everyone that was a seasonal employee.
In a statement, Amazon officials say, quote, errors in the initial design of the building and failing to meet seismic code leaves them to indefinitely close the doors of the 4-year-old facility. 4,000 employees inside the 3.6 million square foot building, now without a job. And while Amazon says employees will be provided 90 days of pay and transfer opportunities, Wagner explains that's a category she doesn't fall under.
When they posted saying that they were paying all of their full-time employees, I was like, no, they're not, because you just fired a good portion of your employees that hadn't even got to start yet, but you were paying us to work for you.
For Wagner, she says it's a burden that leaves her uncertain about where to go next, not just for her, but her sister and husband, who also worked at the facility. The decision leaves her struggling to plan for the holidays.
It's upsetting because more or less we're thinking about it in the long terms of we can't help with Christmas.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Global Views with Josh, your home for breaking realities, bold commentaries, and a little bit of sarcasm to keep things spicy. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you never miss when we drop the truth the big folks don't want you to hear. Alright, let's get into today's headlines. Amazon just laid off an entire facility in Arkansas. Yes, not a few workers, not a department, but the whole thing. Shut down, gone, poof. And once again, rural America is feeling the impact of what many experts are calling a full-on job market collapse. So what's driving this? Well, according to economists, analysts, and pretty much anyone who owns a calculator, Trump's economic policies are playing a steering role. So let's break this down with a little sarcasm because honestly, at this point, what else do we have to cope with? Now, imagine waking up ready for your shift at Amazon, that big corporation that promised job stability and endless opportunities, only to find out the opportunity is now unemployment and the stability more like a wobbly chair at a yard sale. Welcome to rural America in 2025.
Well, signs of an economic slowdown and growing recession are mounting with the number of companies laying off employees, and it just keeps getting worse. We're already at the 1 million mark of employees that have been let go, okay? But currently, Amazon is beginning their layoffs of the 30,000 corporate jobs that they are eliminating. 10% of their entire workforce. I want you guys to think about 30,000 Americans with good paying jobs, good benefits being let go in America. And keep in mind, the last jobs report showed new job growth at only 60,000 positions. You have over 1 million people looking for work because of how Trump is running this economy and the tariffs. And now you're dumping another 30,000 people that are going to be vying for 60,000 new jobs. UPS has already begun shedding 48,000 positions, including 14,000 management level folks. These are our fellow Americans, and you better believe a lot of them voted for Donald Trump and Republicans. Target is trimming 1,800 corporate jobs. GM is laying off another 1,700 workers due to slowing electric vehicle sales. The cost of electric vehicles, because component parts have to be imported, and because of the tariffs, make it unaffordable in an economy where everybody is hanging onto their wallets very tightly and not spending. So government contractor Booz Allen Hamilton is cutting 7% of their workforce due to decreased revenue. They provide cybersecurity services. Paramount has already laid off 1,000 employees, and they have plans to cut another 2,000 by the end of the year. This is 3,000 of our fellow Americans. Starbucks is eliminating 900 corporate and management jobs due to decreased sales. Now, this is just big corporations, well-known corporations. That's all I'm including here. Under Trump's economy. Now, I just want our fellow Democrats to remember, when we are voting for Democratic candidates during the Democratic primaries, if we continue to elect centrists who are pro-corporate, we are not going to fix anything, because centrist Democrats protect these same corporations who are only interested in their bottom line. These are corporations that pay their executive levels 400 times the amount of their regular worker. 400 times. Centrist Democrats are not going to fix the underlying problem, so we need to be more focused on getting progressives, democratic socialists elected. But this is really bad news, and this is going to be hard to turn around from. I mean, trying to get a corporation like this to turn around and begin rehiring and creating new jobs is going to require a whole different economy than what we've ever had in the past.
Well, they're getting rid of jobs that they're replacing with AI. What do you say to them? What's your approach to say, hey, this may not be great in the long term?
I say come clean. I say just, and by the way, Andy Jassy making those public statements, Dario Amodei making those public statements, they're signaling to us, guys, we are going to be getting rid of a lot of workers. We're going to get leaner and meaner. So please, please, if you're in government, do something about it, because their responsibility is not society-wide. Their responsibility is just to make their organization successful. And those interests are going to diverge from the average workers pretty sharply. It used to be when you guys saw a company increase headcount, you'd say, okay, good, they're growing, they're healthy. Increasingly, headcount is going to be a bad sign.
I need you to understand one thing. If Amazon can cut 14,000 jobs 62 days before Christmas, what makes you think that your job would not cut you? What makes you think your job is safe? Guys, we are living in times where employers don't give a damn about you being a 3-time employee of the month, a 3-time employee of the year, how much brown nosing you do, how much overtime you work, how much sacrificing you did for the company, neglecting your family. They don't care, guys. These jobs only care about the income that they can make for the company. And they're going to pay you as less as possible, but work to get the most out of you to accomplish that. And if they have to cut you to meet those numbers, those analytics, then guess what? Get ready, because they're going to treat you like trash going out on a Friday. Being somebody who know, because that's what happened to me at my job. But not only that, guys, 84 million people are supposed to lose their jobs in 2025 thanks to layoffs and firings. And this should be a clear sign to you that if the big tech companies can lay off people who are making hundreds and $200 an hour, what do you think they'll do for you making $15 to $20 an hour? Guys, I haven't had a job in 2 years, all because of having to work from home, being able to work from home, travel, build a business that generates me a comfortable 5 figures every month on complete autopilot. And I never have to speak to nobody, get on the phone and talk to nobody or nothing. And that's all thanks to digital marketing. That's all thanks to the online space and social media and this cell phone. And if you'd like to learn how I have been able to generate a full-time income as a 48-year-old stay-at-home dad and not stress about anything, all working 2 hours a day from this cell phone from anywhere in the world, then just comment how, and I'll be happy to send that information over to you and let you check it out.
Well, Smithfield just made the announcement tonight that all of us that's working in sanitation, which is about 180 people, are going to be laid off in the next 3 months. So we got 3 months to find another job, or we take a major pay cut with the contractor that's picking up the sanitation. I'm not doing that at all, because if you pick up that contract, you're going to be doing extra work, and that ain't going to level out for me. But it's fucked up, G. That's almost 100, G. That's almost.
Now, Arkansas is no stranger to economic ups and downs. But this right here, this is something different. Amazon was one of the few major employers in the region offering consistent paychecks. Healthcare, well, Amazon version of it. And a lifeline for families living paycheck to paycheck. But when the economy is wobbling under tariffs, inflation, unstable supply chains, and inconsistent federal support, companies start reevaluating operations, which is corporate language for we are saving money and you're fired. Small businesses in rural towns have already been closing. Farmers have been struggling with rising equipment costs and falling crop prices. Retail jobs disappear faster than your favorite snack at a family reunion. And now Amazon, the giant that was supposed to be too big to fail, is packing up and leaving a whole community in the dust. But hey, at least we still have the political slogan, right? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say the elephant in the White House? Trump's economic policies were marked as saving American jobs, especially in rural communities, but the numbers are not numbering. Tariffs have made imports more expensive. Inflation has hit small towns harder than cities, and companies are offloading entire facilities because operational costs have skyrocketed. Now, when it becomes more expensive to run a warehouse than to automate half of it or move it somewhere cheaper, corporations make the choice they always make: protect the profit first. So now, rural communities, the very ones that were promised economic revival, are instead seeing jobs evaporate like water in a hot Arkansas summer. Now, behind every layoffs are hundreds of families, people wondering how to pay rent, how to feed their kids, how to keep the lights on. This is not about politics. This is not about this is about real lives being uprooted because the economic safety net is full of holes. And in places like rural Arkansas where job options are extremely limited, losing a major employer is like pulling the last brick out of a shaky tower. The whole thing collapses. Amazon leaving isn't just a business decision, it's a community disaster. But don't worry, we're told everything is fine. The economy is strong, jobs are coming back. Apparently, we just need to squint harder to see them. And if that doesn't work, just blame immigrants on TikTok. That's usually the backup plan. Meanwhile, the folks actually living through it are dealing with the kind of economic stress that politicians only pretend to understand for 30 seconds during a photo ops. Now, the truth is, rural America deserves better. Better policies, better jobs, better protection from corporate decisions made by people who have never stepped foot in a council. Now, communities can rebuild, they always do, but only if leaders create genuine plans, not slogans, and only if big companies are held accountable for the damage they leave behind. Because right now, it looks like rural America is being told to pull itself up by the bootstraps, while the boots themselves have been shipped out of the warehouse that just closed. So yes, Amazon picking up an or packing up rather an entire facility isn't just news. It's a warning, a sign of what happens when economic promises don't match economic realities. But what do you think? Do you believe Amazon left because of economic conditions, or were they always planning to automate and cut jobs? How do you think rural communities can survive when major corporations pull out like this? And most importantly, what should leaders actually be doing to prevent rural America from collapsing? Drop your thoughts on the comment section below. I'm reading all of them. Thanks for watching Global Views with Josh. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you want more commentaries like this. I'll see you guys on the next video, and until then, credit belongs to original creators.